And welcome back, guys. Jawbers are back again as we continue our WrestleMania 39 review shows, and we are at the Raw Women's Championship between Bianca Belaire and Auska. And
I'm having
as
a hard time, I gotta tell you. I'm having a hard time
with
keeping these alligators down, brother.
I don't know what that means.
Woo!
Were you?
I got distracted. Sorry.
Oh,
We're at Beyonce and Auska.
yes.
Um, I'm gonna tell you something right now. This match, I don't. There wasn't really a ton of story behind this match, but it was still interesting to see because last year was it last year? I believe it was Sasha and uh Beyonce. Was that this last year or 2 years ago?
I want to say two now, but
Hmm.
um,
But either way, I was expecting a lot from Bianca Belaire. Um, I just remember that she had a hard time keeping her top down
yeah,
or up,
she had a very
and
she had a lot of difficulties.
yes, and this is not like a perverted thing. It's
Okay.
hey, let's yeah, it's primarily because it really took me out of the match because even when she got pinned, she would have to reach to put her top up, you know?
Yep.
And it just like it took me out of the match cuz she would actually move her shoulder or her elbow or I'm sorry, her shoulder up to but they would still count to 2. And so it really was throwing me off cuz she was constantly adjusting it. Constantly. So like whatever like this is like I assume the downside of having new outfits for WrestleMania or special outfit for
You make
WrestleMania
the outfits
like
yourself, like she does.
well there you
It's
go
not your it's not
see
your
this
yeah,
wasn't
no,
it wasn't tried in the field
right.
so it's really difficult to focus on the match when she's doing that constantly and then it just takes me out of it like that suspension of disbelief because she was like whether she was pinned or whether she was in a
Yep.
hold, which Oscar was trying to put a lot on
She
her.
always had her other arm protecting her titty from flopping out.
Yeah, and it's like I would assume that they would have like pasties and things like that, so shit doesn't just plop out. But still, it was weird. It was weird. I'm sure she's not happy about it either. But it took me out of the match. It took me out of kind of the believability of the match
Yep.
because of that. But that's like being like nitpicky or nitpicky. But anyway, I just remember this match constantly. She was constantly so like she gets pinned, she moves that shoulder up, right? And but yet they're still counting to 2, and then she kicks out. It's like she already lifted her shoulder up.
Right.
So it was really weird. That was really weird.
Yeah.
With that said, outside of that, this was a great back and forth
Ooh.
match between the two. You know,
It is.
for those of you who are not who are just joining us for this, Big D's looking at Brazilian steakhouses now because I told him
No.
about it from offline, and he's just like he's never he hasn't experienced the one where you like have the green light
There's
for
no.
means go and red light
Yeah.
means no
Yeah.
restaurants.
I don't
So
think anybody really, unless you're from there. But no,
no, no,
I
no.
was just making that
Those
noise
are
when
oh
Bianca sit down powerbombed Auska on the outside.
oh yeah, that was a
That was
tough
a good
one.
powerbomb.
Yeah,
Um,
that was I did not think she was gonna do that, and then she
and
went boom. I'm like, oh, dude, that like I don't know how. forgiving those mats are, but that still looked
Oh
really
yeah, no,
fucking
yeah,
solid.
it was solid. That's why I reacted that way.
I gotta say, it was good to see Auska back.
It's always great to see
I
Asuka. I just wish
I like
this.
Auska.
I wish this had more, and they had time for
Mm.
this story, but there wasn't. They didn't. They
So
just didn't
this
do it.
was a 16-minute
They didn't
match.
build the story up though.
No, they didn't. I was hoping that this would
Like
be one of those like Sasha Beyonce
what I was hoping for was
matches.
I was hoping Asuka would get her first ever WrestleMania win. She still has not won a WrestleMania match.
I don't know. One of these days
Which is
it'll
crazy
happen.
though.
I gotta tell you though, something like I like Asuka with makeup, like with the whole full face makeup.
Okay.
I
Instead of
think
what she
that's. I
was
think
doing with
she.
like just the tears or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I like the full white
I
face.
like that, but then
Sting
I
makeup.
also like when she's not wrestling and doing the promos. I like it when she doesn't have the makeup on.
Okay. So she was she speaking Japanese?
Well, I mean, she still talks like Asuka, but she doesn't. But
Yeah.
she doesn't have the makeup on all the time anymore.
Yeah.
Like she'll do a promo and like, 'cause, like that's all part of her shifting of gimmick character that she's going through, and that's what I feel like needed to happen either a little bit faster or given more time before this match happened, and I think that would have helped the whole story a lot more if they're deciding whether or not where Asuka's going with this character.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
what I mean this story was Asuka's back. Guess what? She's challenging Beyonce for
right,
women's Raw Women's
which is
Championship.
great.
I mean that's great,
Bianca,
exciting.
yeah, she needs to lose.
But you got to see you got to admit though like with Bianca, like I there's something like we always keep saying there's something off
Yeah,
about Bianca.
yeah,
But I mean, like I realized that I had an expectation after that match with Sasha. Like I literally had like this is gonna be a good match.
right. And
You
to
know,
confirm, that was Mania 37,
2 years
so
ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. So in that sense, I realized like as much as like I'm not the biggest fan of Bianca, but I'm like, wow, okay, she did raise the expectation in me.
right, right. She's
So
she's
that's
still
she
solid.
did great.
It's just
She did great.
I don't.
Respect
No,
for
I
me.
don't believe her.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
don't believe. I
okay.
don't believe.
Now let's talk about that.
I don't believe this character.
Let's talk about that. So the entrances,
Okay.
which all seem to be like 10 million years long. Um, and out of all of those, we still can't. Triple H is coming out to Terminator and shit. Like, nah. Anyway, she had all those girls dancing.
Yeah.
Like little girls dancing
Yeah.
in the beginning, and so that I mean that's the image.
Right.
That's the image, and I think that's what we don't believe her. Like we don't like. There's a little bit of a meanness
Yeah.
to her
She needs to bring that out.
that they're not like highlighting at all. Like
That's the difference between.
she has a little sass.
Oh, she does, and she like that's all she just. I mean, she can flip that switch and
Yep.
just turn that bitch switch on, and she'll be.
Okay.
It'll be golden. Like then
Yeah.
I'll believe her. I'll be there. But like I don't know. There's just something in me. I just want her to lose, and I feel like if she
It's too
loses,
clean. Too clean.
if
Yeah.
she loses, then that's what's gonna like flip that switch.
But she's a little bit in a she's like in a John Cena corner as
Yeah.
far as the like being a face,
Right.
because you have all these girls like I think this was on I try not to watch the shit outside of it. So like I think they had like an exclusive WrestleMania exclusive where she talked to a whole bunch of girls, little girls. I think it was before WrestleMania. And it's like
Okay, yeah,
she's like this representative of little girls. Um, and there's just an aspect of her that seems sort of not completely genuine. That it's like she's been in that corner where she can't or she won't or they won't,
right,
because I mean, that's like trying to like during the Attitude Era, there wasn't a ton of little girls watching wrestling,
right.
and now it's like it's completely in a different direction, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that she's pinned in a corner here, and I think that when I saw that entrance, like there is a little bit of a mean streak in her, like you can tell, just like even the way she like twirls her hair, there's a little bit of a mean streak, and it's like, and that's sort of sincere in a way, like it's almost seems like real her real attitude, real sass, and that's not coming through. Like I've
She's
been
a
trying to
very
figure out.
competitive person, and in order to be a very competitive person, you need to you have to have usually a very high ego, and if it's broken, then you're pissed off. Like, and I just feel like she needs to get someone needs to piss her off.
Yeah.
Becky, they try to do it with Becky, but I want like someone to piss her off, but the other person doesn't turn heel. She does.
Mm. Well, there's gonna
I get
be.
the whole kids love her, blah blah blah. But it's all right. They'll still love you no matter what.
I don't know, bro. I just like on blah. Let me get that out.
Okay.
There's something off. Well, we've been saying there's something off about Beyonce, but she like feels like Drew McIntyre to me. Like there's just something not quite right, but very much like 90. I don't want to say
Right.
90, maybe
Most of
95%
her
there.
is right, but there's just that one
Yeah.
thing that just like it's just,
And she's known, like I didn't even realize that to me, she's known for having good matches, especially at WrestleMania.
she always has good matches. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just that like I don't know.
So
She just doesn't need to win all the time. I,
no, and
I don't know.
yeah. Well,
It
she
just
is the
doesn't do
EST.
anything for her to just keep winning.
They're keeping her the champion, and she's been a champion for a little while now.
Well, and
Um,
she's on SmackDown now.
there you go with a
Oh,
Raw's
with a
title.
Raw title. Well, and I'm assuming Ripley's gonna end up going. That's gonna all.
They're gonna
Just
exchange titles.
yeah, which Becky and Charlotte did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when Charlotte dropped the belts, and that became a whole drama situation.
Aye, aye.
But I'm a big fan of Auska.
With
Auska Bianca was great, but it's
with all
just
that said,
the
yeah,
lack of just the story. I was just like, no, we're not ready. Like this was one of the matches where it was like, oh, 1 week to WrestleMania. I'm just like, no, not yet. It's too soon. It was too soon for this match.
it's a WrestleMania worthy match, but match means nothing without the story.
Right.
And the story was like basically like Oscar's back.
If they,
Yay. Let's wrestle.
let's,
With all that said though, I'm giving it 4 toilet paper rolls. I think the match itself was fun. The whole top issue that Beyonce had, and that really took me out of the game.
yeah. Well, that's what.
Simply because she was kicking out when she wasn't supposed to kick out, and there wasn't that like uh uh if you thought like for so like a wrestler would hit a finisher or they would do something where you think the opponent's not getting up, they're not getting up. That was completely taken out of the game for me because she had to like constantly readjust.
Right.
And granted, yeah, good for her. Like they just didn't work, you know. So she had to adjust that constantly, and I was just like, I can't, like, I can't buy into that because you know she's moving when she's supposed to be almost lifeless,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and she's moving,
Yeah.
and it's like,
And
no.
then freaking Auska missed the mist.
Well, she missed the mist, but that was supposed to happen. She was supposed to miss,
Yeah, I
right?
didn't want that. I wanted Auska to win. I knew,
Oh, I know you
I
wanted
knew, I
Oscar to
knew,
win.
I
I
knew.
think
Once she missed that mist,
it was over.
yeah,
Yeah. I didn't know about Oscar's defeated streak.
yeah,
Um,
she's never won WrestleMania.
I just think Oscar's just cool looking.
That's just
Like
great.
to me, with the makeup, like I but also like Sting. I like Vampiro. I like Kane. Like shit like that. Like with makeup and like
Yeah,
all the colors and like she just kind of carries herself in that kind of in an interesting way. So I was happy to see Oscar back, but as far as the match, it was a good match, man. They went back and forth. Oscar was trying to go for submissions.
yeah, the Auska won
Um,
most of the time.
there's there was well there was plenty of time where you know Bianca Belaire was trying to like she's trying to flip off the ropes, and Oscar would just jump back with it and just grab her foot or her ankle. Um, but yeah, she was. I mean, I thought that was like at least in that sense there was some storytelling. You know, like Oscar's going for submissions. She's committed to this. She really wants it. But I mean that was it. Like I mean
Hoping,
that's a far cry from watching the Usos and the the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. That was a
right.
far cry from watching that match. That's for sure. Storyline wise. So
Well, I'm hoping Auska ends up on SmackDown as well, and we can continue this with Auska and Bianca and just further develop the story.
I mean, like, well, how would you even develop this story
Well,
between Asuka
that's
and
like
Bianca?
I think it just needs to. Asuka needs a reason to have that belt. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
that's my
see,
job.
but yes, and um,
No,
it's also like it's a good
that's
thing to think about.
a good
Like,
question.
yeah, what would you actually
What would my
what would one want
motive?
to
What
see?
would my motive for Asuka winning the championship? Uh,
Yeah, like what would be like what would make it
right.
personal? What would make it
Well,
personal?
I mean, if they actually show that her losing at WrestleMania and not ever winning is something,
There you go.
then there you go. Like I mean,
Th-
just
That's personal.
hearing it, like I didn't realize it until afterwards, after the fact, that she's never
Yeah.
won a WrestleMania match, but she's won Royal Rumbles, she's won uh, um, Elimination Chambers, she's won all the tag titles and all these other titles, but she's never won a WrestleMania match. I'm taken back by that.
Yeah.
Like usually, I mean, this
Well,
is one person that I would expect to have multiple winning matches at WrestleMania.
well, there you go. See, there's something personal. There's something to play off there for sure. So you could do that. Like if they said, you know, like I never won a match at WrestleMania, and you got Beyonce Belaire, you know, she's on cloud nine with her giddiness and her politeness, and Oscar's just like, you know what? There's just nothing stopping me. I will not lose for the ninth time in a row. And then she loses. Boom! Now you got some personal. You can stew. You can stew this all the way to WrestleMania 40.
And that's the thing. Like
And
it's
it's like,
like I feel like that should have already happened. Like now, I mean, of course, now we're talking, you know, post Mania.
yeah. Now, like, I would keep
and
Beyonce the champion, but Beyonce needs something.
nothing's happened.
She needs a
We haven't
title.
seen Auska since she's lost. So it's like,
Yeah.
what are you waiting for? Which I think we're all waiting till after Backlash for things to happen because there's a draft and all that stuff. So things are changing. But anyways, you gave it a 4.
Yep.
I'll give it a 4 because I can't go between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And that's
Got
strictly
it.
because
I
story
mean, athletically,
and I mean the match was
yeah.
good, except for like you said,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
the whole
yeah.
Bianca adjusting in her focus. Her focus, you can tell when she's focused on that more than the match itself. Um,
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate. That's not a knock on Bianca
yeah,
there.
no, just do
It was
better.
just
That's all.
bad choice.
Right.
Bad wardrobe choice.
One little thing that
Unfortunate.
I learned that I think would be nice is um, condolences to uh, one of the little girls that she was dancing with. She had found out that morning that her mom passed away. Um, so just a little shout out to that little girl to be able to continue to do what she was
To
going to do
dance.
and dance at WrestleMania. So that was great.
I mean, see, these are all heartwarming stories. Not necessarily her mom passing away, but the story afterwards.
Yeah. But,
This is all heartwarming, and why wasn't any of that? I mean, obviously, I don't know if you're gonna play up this girl's mom's death. You couldn't really put that in
it
the
was brought
story,
up.
but like,
It was brought up in the press conference, post conference.
okay, well, that's
Triple H brought it up when he was doing his.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, once again, the question is, do we bring this into a story?
Oh no,
Um,
no, I don't think so.
no, it's probably not good tact. But like me, is just thinking about what would make it more personal. What would elevate
Well,
Bianca? I'm thinking about that, and that's like I don't want to come off as heartless.
it's okay.
Cause I'm just like, oh well, you know, if we've known that little bit, and then Bianca was dancing with her, you know, before, cause she ended up dancing, going around the circle with one girl, I
Yeah,
believe.
it was no, that was the girl.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
that's yeah, like if we had that, if you had a little bit of that, if we understood what was happening, then you know, like she could even dedicate it to her or something, you know,
yeah, that would have added
something.
more to
That would have had a little more
motivation
oomph,
for her to
you
win.
know, like but on the other hand, it's like we don't want to make light of, or
I just thought it was
maybe
cool.
we
I
do.
mean, like I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
My mom passes away in the morning and still go to work. The only difference is that you're 10 years old. And you're
Yeah, I
still
mean,
able to.
could
And
be.
you're still able to do that and not let
That's crazy.
like something that'll
But see,
never happen in your life
that's
again.
human.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's very, it's a very human story
yeah.
that would have warmed up everybody's heart. I think that, like, not just endearing Bianca, but that would have warmed up everybody's heart. Like, you know, just the compassion that people would have.
Right.
Um, but you know,
Yeah,
like, yeah, condolences to the little girl. I mean, I didn't know that.
yeah.
That's unfortunate too.
It is. But it was a gift, so I was just a little shout out to her on
Yeah,
on
absolutely,
her podcast. I
absolutely.
don't recall her name, but it's she knows.
Uh,
Right.
well, I mean, yeah, it's like, what do you say to that? Like, what do you say to that? Nothing.
Nothing, nothing. But 8 toilet paper rolls out of 10.
Yeah.
Let's
Still a WrestleMania worthy match. The story
let's run it
wasn't.
back. Let's let's do this at SummerSlam. It's just because like Asuka's new character, she came back at the Rumble, and
Yeah.
it's only been a couple months, and they really didn't build it up too much. Gotta
Well, the
do
fact that we're
something.
searching for the story
Yeah,
is that's the missing link.
yeah,
The fact that I would consider the passing of this young girl's mom as a heartwarming moment that would endear us to some sort of um, sincerity out of the story of these two. That I mean, there was zero story, but there will be at 40 if Beyonce keeps it up. You know, she doesn't even have to keep the title. She doesn't even have to have the title for Auska to go to WrestleMania 40. You know, it's like 9 years. I've lost every match. You know, that alone would be a
yeah. Well, that's the
good
thing.
enough
Like
story.
if they bring her off the screen stories and shit onto like on screen, then that'd be golden. Because
Mm.
her social media stuff on or whatever off screen could definitely be put into the story.
Auska?
Yeah.
Mm.
So
There you go.
she's mentioned about not not ever winning at WrestleMania, and there's just something missing. Like she's always like doing like these little hints and stuff. Like the whole her new like going back to her Kana character, which is that's where this whole new makeup and
Mm-hmm.
stuff was coming. Like has to do like goes hand in hand with, but not completely. But it's like going back into history with her, and like
Mm-hmm.
people that were fans of her before WWE know that character. Um, and like we're excited when it happened, and then it just kind of everyone, everyone wants Oscar. Like everyone's behind Oscar, good or bad.
Yeah.
I want to see like if Bianca's not gonna go heel, then I want Oscar to, and she be damn good at it too. And like,
Well, technically she's heel with the mists.
oh right, yeah,
Come on.
yeah. But like even just more like get rid of the smile, get rid of the
More
like
evil.
get rid of the crazy psych psycho what's the word
Psychotic.
psychotic. There we go. Get rid of that
We'll get
attitude,
there.
you know, and just same thing. Like we'll get to it later with Finn Balor, him too. Just these
Oh
people just
yeah.
gotta be more serious if they're gonna be heels.
Sincere.
Yes, there you go. More sincere.
Cause serious, you know.
Why so serious?
Yeah. Cause you could be a psychotic, sincerely psychotic, or you can be instant. I mean, the thing is, I think like the bottom line is that humans have a bullshit meter. You know, they have an insincerity meter. And that's really prevalent in wrestling because the things that really elevated are things that are personal and sincere. You know, like I've always talked about sincerity, and that's the same with acting. It's like you can there's acting and there's actually acting, and if I can tell that you're acting and I'm not buying it, that kills it. That instantly kills the whole thing. You know, and with wrestlers, you don't always get actors.
Yeah. Right.
So it's really difficult to keep them at that standard. But that bullshit meter, like you can tell if somebody's not acting well in a movie,
Right.
even though they're
Or if they're
acting.
acting too much.
That's right. And I feel like a lot of times since it's so overproduced that these are not actors, but what they managed to do though, I would like to say what they managed to all the lines, saying all the lines properly and trying to act the best they can with the rigor of the schedule and the rigor of the physicality in the ring. What wrestlers, superstars, are able to achieve week in and week out is magical. And at the same time, you're also kind of like, not all of them are just these world class actors. That can bring all of that what you want from them, and so not allowing them to express themselves in a more natural way, keeping it so very produced, so very written. I think that's what keeps a lot of them down. Like that. That's like something doesn't work about Cesaro. And it's like, well, what do you think that is? It's like, have you asked Cesaro to just speak on his own? Maybe not.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But the that sincerity is really kills me. It kills me because I feel like that with Bianca, there's an aspect of that that's not quite there, and she's so close, and I mean she's good. Like you can tell, we can all tell that she's good and she's worth it.
Right.
But it's just not quite there, and it's like that insincerity of her little mean streak. That's our assumption.
That's all I want. I just wanted to. There's a few like that. I
Sorry.
just wanted to be sincere, get angry, get upset.
Yeah.
In order for that to happen, she needs to lose.
But you can't because it's not in the script. They're not actors. Some of them, but they're not
Well,
actors.
that's what makes it entertainment.
Absolutely,
But no,
absolutely. But it's like,
she
well,
needs to
if we're
lose. That's
expecting
all.
that
I just
much,
wanted. I'm just waiting. But if she's gonna lose, she's gotta lose to someone that's worthy. We can't have Aaliyah coming up here and beating Bianca for the title. Give it to Auska.
Auska's gonna win at WrestleMania 40. We just have to wait, and I'm more than happy to wait another year, another cycle, another long story brewing.
I'll take that as well, as long as
Yeah,
the in between is juicy and moist as well.
interesting choice of words, my
I
friend.
was thinking of a steak.
Oh, okay. You
I
still in
want
the
that. I want that steak to be just as good from the first bite to the last bite.
as my Raw women's title match.
So, but whatever. Anyway, eight
Okay.
out of 10.
Anyway,
That's final.
eh, these are great scores still.
Yeah, well, they've been that wasn't a bad. They didn't have a bad time.
No, no, they didn't. Yeah, it was a good match. Like just physicality, physically wise, it was great.
Right.
Them going back and forth was fine. They did tell a story as far as that goes,
Yeah.
but it
I just
just
wish they would have. I
y-
wish they would have like
mm,
continued right after, like something. But we haven't seen Asuka in a month now since she's lost.
yeah.
That just kind of deflates everything. But
Maybe something is up with Asuka, so she's not going to be able to win. But but to me, it's more important the story. I don't know, but then I don't know.
yeah,
Anyway, we're at 33 minutes, so we better
yeah.
call this off.